episode 246, Trumps in Asia. Good morning, everyone. This is James. Hope you all had a really good weekend and getting better at this new Rumble studio that I'm using. Figure out how to get onto X, so now I'm on X and Facebook, but if you want to watch me, I am on Rumble live all the time, okay? So welcome to the JP8 report. So this is episode 246. Before we get started with America 250, and just so you know, if you're the first time you're watching the JP8 report, the first thing we do in the morning is America 250. So I go back to 1775 and show what happened on this day in 1775, which if it's on a Monday, I do Sunday and Monday together, and I do Friday and Saturday together, right? All right. So before we get started, don't forget to click that follow button to follow the JP8 report, and then move right on next to it and give us the thumbs up, which is the like, and then please repost and share the podcast. It's the only way we get our numbers up. So welcome. So here we go. America 250 for October 26, 1775, which also was my daughter's birthday yesterday. So if Rachel's listening, happy birthday, Rachel. We had a fun time. But let's go with what happened in 1775, which wasn't such a fun time. So on October 26, 1775, King George III gave a speech to Parliament announcing American colonies were in open rebellion. And this is when he gave that speech, he had already delivered a response to the Olive Branch petition, and this coming Saturday, November 1st, 1775, is when the response reaches the American colonies about what he did in response to being offered the petition. So we have about 4 days left before we officially find out what happened, but he had already told Parliament that we were in open rebellion. We know what the end game was on that one, right? Also, on the morning on the 26th of October through the 27th of October, the first land operation or land battle south of New England took place. It was in Hampton, Virginia, and it was British soldiers were attempting an amphibious landing in Hampton, Virginia, and it was repelled by Patriots on land. There were no Patriot casualties at all, and the battle emboldened American patriots to strive toward independence from Great Britain. And then October 27th, 1775, which we know ended the Battle of Hampton in our victory, right? But also Dr. Benjamin Church, the traitor, he was the first Surgeon General of the United States, and he was court-martialed and convicted about a month ago in 1775. But the day he was banished to a Connecticut prison, where we know he served several years, and then went on a boat toward Bermuda, I believe it was, and he disappeared at sea. And then also, King George III announced his intention to crush the rebellion by force. So that is what happened on American 250 on October 26th, October 27th, 1775. So next we have my daily reading of the Dalmatian Texas burgers, and their homemade smash burgers and dogs in Copperas Cove, Texas. All their ingredients are homemade. I don't know if they grow their own jalapenos, but they're fresh, and they make everything, including the buns, and they're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 2 and 5:30 to 7, unless they sell out. And remember, the day's Monday, so you can't go there. And they're located behind bushes on the west side of Copper's Cove in Town Square, right? And I recommend Armadillo. All their stuff is good, but the Armadillo is the best. And you can get those in single, double, and triple burgers, triple patties, right? All right, so onward to the JP8 report. I gotta advance the slide here real quick. Okay, just a second. Let me check something out here. Alrighty. Gotta get used to doing this. Okay, so I'm working on getting another screen to help me out too. Okay, so as we know, President Trump is in Malaysia. He should be leaving to go to Japan. They're talking about him on the news right now, meeting the first female prime minister of Japan. Her name is Sine. Oh man, I pronounced it last time. Takachi. Sine Takachi is her name. She's the first female prime minister. She's conservative, and the president's supposed to be meeting her today in Japan. And then yesterday he was in Malaysia. He was overseeing the expanded peace agreement between Cambodia and Thailand, which he stopped her fighting a few months ago, and they expanded their ceasefire agreement, which is good, right? Less bloodshed around the world. And then he signed economic agreements with Thailand and Cambodia and Malaysia. And if you were watching the news, you saw him doing a little Trump dance with the Malaysian soldiers as he exited Air Force One. It's a really good thing to do. He's going to be, after he gets done in Japan, I'm sure he's going to be signing an agreement there too. But he's going to be, from Japan, he's going to go to South Korea. It's an association of Southeast Asian nations, ASEAN, all right? Also, while he's going to be in the area, while he's in South Korea, he's going to meet President Xi from China. They're going to sign an agreement for Tic Toc, and I'm going to read this to you, okay? And this I got from New York Post, all right? So, New York Post from yesterday, I believe. The U.S. and China have finalized a deal to transfer the American version of Tic Toc to new owners. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent revealed on Sunday. President Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping will officially consummate the deal when they meet in Busan. It used to be called Busan, but it's Busan. It's on the southeast coast of South Korea on Thursday, marking the first time the two have seen each other in person since 2019. We reached a deal on Tic Toc, Bessent told CBS News Face the Nation on Sunday. We reached one in Madrid, and I believe that as of today, all the details are ironed out, and that will be for the two leaders to consummate that transaction on Thursday in Korea. Trump had signed an executive order last month to pave the way for Tic Toc transfer deal, but the two sides still had a few deals to figure out at that time. Bessent declined to provide additional details about the finalized deal, noting that he wasn't part of the commercial side of the transaction. My remit was that to get the Chinese to agree to approve the transaction, and I believe we successfully accomplished that over the past 2 days, he explained. Under the framework unveiled last month in Trump's executive order, TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, will own less than 20% of the popular video sharing platform, and certain investors investors will get 80% of it. That would comply with legislation passed by Congress and signed into law by former President Joe Biden last year, mandating that TikTok be divested from its Chinese Communist Party linked ownership due to U.S. national security concerns. Trump has repeatedly delayed the deadline for TikTok to be divested to buy time for negotiations to play out. Smart move. Yes, sir. Good job, Mr. President. If ByteDance refused to divest, TikTok would have been banned from the key app stores in the U.S. And then the president previously said that Oracle founder Larry Ellison and tech mogul Michael Dell and News Corp chairman emeritus Rupert Murdoch will have a role in the TikTok deal. So, all y'all have been wondering what's going to go on with TikTok. It looks like it's going to be saved at the last second by some American investors and signatures from President Trump and President Xi from China. I personally don't like TikTok. I may have to venture into it since it'll be American. We'll see about that. I do too much stuff online as it is, but we'll see. Trying to build this podcast up. We have to do anything and everything we can within reason. All right, so we got those done. Let's go back to the top. Eric Swalwell. I was going to lead with this news story that came out yesterday. So, if you read some of the news and watch, I guess it was on CBS Morning News or something like that, Eric Swalwell said this stupid statement yesterday saying that every one of the presidential contenders on the Democrat side in the 2028 presidential race should commit that on day one they will take a wrecking ball to the brand spanking new White House ballroom that's being built right now. After $300 million is going to be spent on the facility, he insists that it should be wrecked because he says it's illegally being made and that we shouldn't tolerate it even to stand. My question is, besides it being no funds from the taxes are going to be used to build a thing, and if it's completely built before Trump leaves office, what do you propose that the Democrats put in place after demolishing a $300 million structure that's put there for the service of the American country by the presidents of the United States in the future? I don't even think that President Trump is even going to get to use the thing. But what's better? Making head of states use tents for functions that are too big for the White House, or having a 650 seat facility for head of state dinners, and give the level of service that's deserved to the President of the United States at no cost to taxpayers. What lame brain statement was that came out of the mouth of Fang Fang Bang Bang himself to insist that any potential presidential candidate insist on destroying that facility, that building, on day one of their presidency, which, as it stands now, it doesn't even look like it's remotely possible that any Democrat is going to get elected. Anyway, now to go along with that, I mean, just remember, no tax dollars are going to be used for that building. And then look back at all the other stuff that's been renovated around the White House in the last 210 years since it's been rebuilt, right? 210 years, because it got burned down in 1814 by the British. Has never been used for the remodeling other than tax dollars used. Never. This is the first time. Talking about president's aspirations. What's his name? Newscum. There we go. Here it is. Mr. Newscum himself said he is now looking into a 2028 presidential run. He said he hasn't decided if he's going to do it or not, but he's just looking into that. Maybe he'll ask his fellow Californian that everyone's such busy trying to get out of that state because it's destroying them morally and financially. Just look at Mark Wahlberg. He moved his entire family from California to Nevada, and then now they're moved all the way to Florida to get away from that stench on the West Coast. You look at the owners of In-N-Out Burger, a really good burger joint, right? They're out of California. They're living in Tennessee now. They're getting away from that state. Why would anyone want to thoughtfully listen to anyone from that state, whether it be Kamala Harris, because she's talking about running for president again too. And now you have Gavin Newscum that says he's thinking about it also. Maybe they don't understand or can't read tea leaves or anything like that, but they're going to get beat. I was mentioning Kamala Harris. There's an article that I'm going to read. I got it from foxnews.com. Kamala Harris was interviewed by BBC, right? And this is what was said during the interview. Former Vice President Kamala Harris was repeatedly pressed on whether she felt she couldn't raise concerns about former President Joe Biden, his re-election campaign, and if she was deliberately kept in the dark about the former president's health. Stop. Okay. She's the Vice President of the United States. She spoke to the president all the time. There is no way she did not know the mental health of the president at all. Harris insisted in an interview with BBC's Laura Kusenberg that aired Sunday, which would be yesterday, that she had concerns about Biden running for president, but not his ability to serve as president. That's stupid. That's one and the same. She said she has reflected on whether she could have tried to talk to him about it, but was concerned that it would appear self-serving. But the context here, I think, at the historical moment you talked about, is so important because there had been months of speculation around the world, here in the UK too, even in April, long before President Biden pulled out. We asked Nancy Pelosi what was wrong. This was a huge subject of discussion, and you write that President Biden didn't raise his frailty with you. And you write that you did not really raise it with him. That's extraordinary to read in your account, Kusenberg told Harris. And check this phrase out. I about fell out of my chair last night when I was reviewing this. Harris pushed back and said, let's be more precise. There is a very serious difference between capacity to be president of the United States and the capacity to run for president of the United States. What kind of lame brain word salad did she just say in that interview? There's a difference. Are you mentally up to the job, or are you not mentally up to the job? She said there's a difference between running and being. Well, we understand there's a difference between campaigning and actually legislating, because there's two different worlds. But if you can't mentally take running for office, there's no way you can be president. Everybody knows that. Anyone, you could look through history. Just look through history since we've had color photography and color films, right? You look at anyone that's been elected president. I'll give you a recent example, okay? You can't really see it in President Trump. But look at President Obama, right? His hair was pure black when he got elected in 2008. When he left office in 2016 or 2017, he had gray hair. And this guy is only in his early 50s. Look at George Bush. Look at Bill Clinton. You can't say anything about Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush because they were elderly back then. But look at our younger presidents and look at what the presidency took toll on their health in their younger age. Could you imagine older? And she said there was no difference. No difference. I'll read one more paragraph and we'll be done with this one, okay? It is on the latter piece that I talk about in the book, about my concern about his ability with the level of endurance energy that it requires, especially running against now the current president. She added, but let's be clear, my question was never about his capacity to run. That's stupid. It isn't a strange message to say to the public to say you know that what you need is to be tougher and to be more able to run a political campaign than actually to be the person behind the desk in the Oval Office, to be the person making decisions in the Situation Room. So did you just not think that it was that bad, or did you feel that you just couldn't raise it? And she said, regardless, they cut off. Oh my goodness. Oh, regardless of age, I'm not done. Really? Amen. She needs to stay Oakland, California, where she's from. Okay, so also yesterday, AOC and Bernie Sanders campaigned in New York City for Zohran Mamdani to push their socialist and communist policies and to try to get him elected. And he was saying yesterday also that if he's elected mayor, that the New York Police Department Commissioner Tish, I can't remember her last name, but that she will understand that he is the mayor and that she will follow any direction that he gives her concerning the police department. Go figure. I guess he didn't think that he would actually follow her since she works for him. Just remember, let's just cut to the chase. Mamdani is a communist. Anyone that follows him is a fraud. If you're a Republican and you think you can openly endorse Mamdani or Andrew, a failed politician, Como, you're a rhino. If you are a high donor or a high publicity Republican and people follow you, and you've been saying for so long that you are a Republican and to follow me, and you decide to endorse a Democrat, you're a rhino. The only person in that race that needs to be elected, that deserves to be elected, is the guardian angel, Curtis Sliwa. You need to vote for him. You saw a five-fold turnout increase in early voting this weekend than in the 2021 election, right? 2021 was the middle of COVID. So you need to get out and push Curtis over the finish line to get elected. And like they were saying, that was a good analogy what they were saying about the election. There's no runoff in New York City. It's the first one past the goalpost wins, right? It's the one with the largest number of votes is going to get the mayorship for the next 4 years. So get out and vote for Curtis Sliwa for mayor. Also, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Trump will rig the midterms. He claims that the Republicans are rigging the election by redistricting, even though the Supreme Court said race-based congressional districts are unconstitutional. I guess they don't agree with getting rid of the gerrymandered districts, which everybody else says, yes, let's make it fair across the board for everyone, for Democrats and Republicans. If you look at the makeup of the nation, the majority of our congressional districts are conservative. And why not have a conservative in that congressional district? You don't see white-only districts. You shouldn't have black-only districts. You should not have Hispanic-only. It should be representative of the population in that vicinity. You shouldn't have something that looks like the country of Cuba for a congressional district. It should be like the state of Kansas or something like that. It should be like the block instead of like this, and then weaving through neighborhoods and stuff. That's not what is meant to be a congressional district of about 750,000 residents in that congressional district. Let's see. I said that. I said this. And let's see. New Jersey. Cicerelli. He put out yesterday the early vote. See, another increase in early voting, right? Early vote in New Jersey show that more Republicans in 2021 at this point in time have already voted, which shows well for Jack Cicerelli. Okay, please get out and vote for him. Next, back to California. Another article I want to read real quick. It's about Arnold Schwarzenegger. I personally wrote down Arnold says Prop 50 is not temporary, and he and the Democrats in the state of California will use any excuse to keep it away from the citizens of California who voted for it in 2009 and 2010. If you haven't been following the news about redistricting, California has an independent commission that does a redistricting form instead of the state legislature, which I firmly believe is constitutional, not the independent one, because now no one's really independent. So what they were doing in California was appointing as many liberals as possible to the independent redistricting commission and then drawing the lines. Okay, So what they're trying to do now is override said commission and then write off 5 Republicans that their independent redistricting commission designated in 2022. Now look at it like this also. They're not allowed to have mid-decade redistricting in their state either. It's part of the law. And so they're breaking the law there and overturning the will of the people in 2008. Former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger dismissed current Governor Gavin Newscum argument that the proposed redistricting in the state was temporary, calling the notion total fantasy. I'm not going to try to make Arnold Schwarzenegger accent. I'm sure he wouldn't try to imitate mine. I think when they say this is temporary, there's no such thing. I mean, the longest programs are government programs that are temporary. Okay? Just remember that if this is a tax program or if it is the redistricting program, anything that's temporary with government is permanent, he told CNN's Jake Tapper on State of the Union, responding to a clip of Newscum touting his Prop 50 legislation that would reshape congressional seats. Voting opened last week as to add as many as 5 held Democrat seats in Congress, which could possibly offset Donald Trump's move in Texas to offset and elsewhere to help Republicans in the 2026 election. Obama endorsed Prop 50 this week also. Remember, vote no on Prop 50. Anything in a special election you should be voting no for because of a double-loaded question. In the year 2032, when the Independent Redistricting Commission is supposed to come back, they're going to say, wait a minute, there's still gerrymandering going on in Texas. There's still gerrymandering going on in Ohio. There's still gerrymandering going on in Florida. We have to continue with gerrymandering. This is what's going to happen. They'll find an excuse. So therefore, I don't think it is temporary. So that's total fantasy, Schwarzenegger said. He continues, Schwarzenegger called the redistricting efforts cheating and said Democrats needed to outperform Trump. What the Democrats should do is they should outperform Trump. To me, it is about the completion creates performance, and that what they do is with the redistricting commission is that they're going to go and try to draw the district lines in such a way that that they get voted in, no matter if they work well or not for the American people. So the American people get cheated or screwed on this whole thing. That is the real problem here. It said the former Republican California governor said that he understood Republicans and Democrats needed to fight about it, but argue that Americans are being cheated. Very true. Very, very true. I don't always agree with everything Arnold says, but the former governor in California, he's exactly right. They will find a way to keep the independent commission away from that was voted, even though I don't agree with independent commissions. That's an amendment to their state constitution, and they should abide by that, right? Not do, we're going to temporarily override the independent commission, and we promise that we're going to bring it back in 6 years. Just like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, the state legislature are going to say, there's still gerrymandering going on. We're going to keep drawing our politically our own lines instead of going back on what y'all voted for several years ago. Still, vote no on Prop 50. Vote no on Prop 50. Remember, Steve Hilton's running for governor, and on the California side, they had this stupid jungle primary in California, but they voted for it. You make your bed, you got to lie in it, right? In Chicago, Brandon Johnson, he said the term illegal alien is racist, nasty language. Now, I must tell him, if you look in the U.S. Code, because everything goes back to law, right? He should know this. Title 8, U.S. Code Section 1325. The appropriate term is illegal alien. Well, it says alien. They're illegal because they're in our country illegally. Any foreigner in our country, you're like a resident alien or an illegal alien. That's a person that's not a U.S. citizen in our country is designated an alien, right? Not no green-figured person with big, bulging black eyes. It's just the term that's in the Federal Register, the federal law, dictating what people are called, okay? But him calling it racist, he can say anything he wants, right? And he's got that freedom of speech, but that no comments, okay? But he needs to be worried about the security of the people in his own city, okay? We'll just leave it at that. He's just talking through both sides of his mouth. Let's see. The day is day 27 of the Schumer shutdown. No end in sight still. Federal employees did get paid last week, so I don't know what's up right now. Commercial on TV. Timothy Mellon, he's 82-year-old American, donated $130 million to help meet the offset of military pay. He wasn't supposed to be identified, but word leaked about his name. I guess nothing, including anonymity, is sacred in Washington, D.C., but he went above and beyond and donated $130 million to help make sure that our soldiers, all of our military gets paid this coming Friday. Hold on. All right. And then in Texas, hold on, let me check something here. I gotta check what's going on here. Let's see. And I'm just checking some stuff going on right now. Already back to the program. All right. So in Texas, we have constitutional amendments on the ballot. This is the last week of early voting. This is the last week of early voting. Remember, there were 17 constitutional amendments. I ran out of time this weekend. I was going to try to make some copies. I will tell you, I went to a function with Coryell County Republican women, and we had a sitting, I think he was a justice on the Criminal Court of Appeals here in Texas, and he was talking about him. He couldn't give us his personal feeling about any of the amendments because he is a sworn judge, but he explained them to us, and he gave us this. I'm going to have to put it out for tomorrow, but it's 17 pages long because it's dealing with all 17 of them. But it's a complete breakdown on the. Let me see. I got it right here. Arguments for. He put it together like a lawyer. He read the ballot language, what the what the proposition says, what the ballot language exactly says. He gave a summary on it, then arguments for, arguments against. And the coolest thing he put on this, I'm going to have to put this out for tomorrow, is that, you know, how you're like, how did this person vote? Well, what he put in there is the summary of, like in Prop 1, which is permanent, it's a permanent Texas Institute infrastructure on fund availability workforce education fund. It's for Texas State Technical College, right? And, to create a $3 billion fund for it, something like that. Well, at the bottom of it, legislative vote by party. Okay, he goes from the House, 63 Republicans voted for it, 15 Republicans voted against it, 47 Democrats voted for it, and 1 Democrat voted against it, and it was for 110 to 16 with the final vote. And in the Senate, 18 Republicans voted for it, 2 Republicans voted against, 10 Democrats voted for it, and none voted against it, for a score of 28 to 2. And it goes on through the rest of them. I'm gonna have to print this out, because we still got 5 more days after it. This was well prepared for us on Saturday. That was really good. I wish I would have had that available today. We haven't voted yet anyway. A lot of us, my family, haven't voted yet. But it was really good, really good. And then and here in Texas, here in Copper's Cove, we have a school board vote going on, and with the bond proposal, with 3 propositions in it. We got Prop A, Prop B, Prop C. Prop A deals with school maintenance stuff. Prop B goes for locker rooms and band hall, and then Prop C goes for a covered practice facility, right? And sat down with the superintendent last week, talked about it some, and he gave some good points. I gave some points, some good points. We had a good conversation and stuff, and I really liked all the advice he gave me about it, on how stuff is going to transpire if it gets passed. There's no guarantee it'll get passed, and you're not going to hear me say if I'm for it or against it. But here in Texas, you have to file campaign finance reports on election donations and expenditures, right? So there's this PAC that's trying to get people to vote for the school bonds. It's called Vote Yes CCSD PAC. And when you are a PAC, you have to be registered through the state of Texas, right? And then the Texas Ethics Commission, TEC, has a section on their website. It's called PAC List. So I've been on that PAC list, and I looked, and that PAC is nowhere even listed on the website at all. And then I looked for 30-day campaign finance report. Nothing listed at all. Now the day is the 8th day report that's due today, because the 8th day was Saturday, but it's due today. But if they didn't list, if they did not list their outcome of their fundraising and spending, they're wrong. If they're not registered, they're wrong. I was told I can call the the Secretary of State's office. I'm probably going to do that today, but I'm going to do some more research and see what I come up with. Another thing is, your election administrator is supposed to be non-biased. It's like saying in Coryell County that Justin Carruthers, our election administrator, should go out and advocate people to vote for it in these elections, right? He doesn't. It's like Deborah Havens over at CTC. She does not get involved. She administers the elections fairly and unbiasedly. That's the drawback by being an election administrator. But CCISD election administrator, her name is Monica Hall, and you see her over and over again on Facebook pushing out stuff about the bond over and over. She's not listing herself as an election administrator, but she is, and she needs to stop. And there are people that watch our podcast that are in this area of Copper's Cove that know her and need to tell her to stop because she's wrong. And that will be dealt with anyway. But before I let you go, there's only one thing. I was just talking about the Texas Constitutional Amendments. I missed one thing, all right? So, since our 1876 Constitutional Amendment here in Texas, we have 530 amendments in our Constitution because our state government was formed to have a weak governor and a part-time legislature, so a lot of things have to be voted on by we the people, right? So just so you know, we have 500. We've had 714 proposed constitutional amendments in the state of Texas. 3 of them never made it to the ballot, and 181 of them got defeated. So it leaves us with a grand tally of 530 constitutional amendments on our Constitution. That's since 1876. And just remember, we have 17 that are going before the before the Texas public right now, right? So you learned some good stuff from me, right? Before we get to the point where I'm going to let you go for the day, because we are 48 minutes in. I got work to do on this stuff today too. So if you want to find me, I'm on X at James Pierce Jr. I'm on Facebook at James A. Pierce Jr. And you can find me you can send me an email at JP8report@gmail.com. Alright, before I let you go, I'm going to check one more time on some of my stuff here. Just give me a second. Hope everyone is having a good time so far. I'm about to let y'all go in just a minute. I'm going to watch Before the Noise when he comes out with Chad Prather in just a minute. And then let's see here. Go back to my profile. I'm going to see if my stuff worked today. Hey, look at that. I'm live on X, which is awesome. I'm going to give myself a heart. That is awesome. I'm live on X. And I know I'm live on Facebook also. That is cool. Go back over to my stuff. So, my 2 experiments work. I'm live on Facebook. I'm live on X right now. That is great. So, no questions. No one's on the live chat. So, I'm going to let y'all go for the day. Visit me tomorrow. Remember, I'm live from 6 to about 6:45 to 6:50, Monday through Friday. And let me check one more thing here. We've got 6 people live right now, so I was going to read some of our sponsor stuff. I can't because I don't have enough people listening right now. That's why we got to build our numbers up so I can talk about Rumble sponsorship stuff, which is cool. All right, so this is James Pierce at JP8 Report. I'm done for the day. But I will catch you on the flip side. I'm out.